we're gonna pull up Present Toys John Wick, okay? Because I want to ask the question: no, I'm just kidding. Do delays set expectations? Are we settling at this point, right? Because John Wick, we have a Present Toys suit killer, right?
Solid
Uh,
name, by the way.
yeah, it's solid, right? So, however, are we settling? Because look, I think most people would agree with me that the Hot Toys head sculpt for John Wick is not that great. It's like it's kind of
It really wasn't.
it's okay, right? I had it for the time; it was good. The Max Nut one was actually better, surprisingly. The Max
Yeah,
Nut
I
one
got
was
the
pretty
Max
good.
Nut one on mine. It was badass.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. So that one's actually pretty good. Not perfect, but it's certainly better than the Hot Toys one. Now we have a Present Toys one. This is for clear. It looks like to me from John Wick 1 or even John Wick 2, maybe. I don't know. One of the two, right? But very, very clearly, obviously, one of those two. You get the nunchucks. Well, I guess it's John Wick 4 then, because that's the nunchucks. But to me, this looks like John Wick 1. He looks less aged here. He looks younger. But nonetheless, I don't even think we have a price on this point. I was looking for it on Kit's website. I couldn't find it. So Present Toys is announced this John Wick suit killer. Are we settling at this point though? Because Hot Toys has announced John Wick and then they pulled it back. They rebutted their announcement. So I don't know if that's even going to happen. I'm assuming it still is. Hopefully they can fix and make the head sculpt better. I have my reservations and doubts about that because they put out that Johnny Silverhand figure. It's the same head sculpt as previous, just with a new hairpiece. I have a feeling they're probably going to do that again if they announce a John Wick. For the people who do want a John Wick, should they settle on this one, Kiko? What do you think?
The idea of everyone's like, please reissue more John Wicks or whatever. I can find John Wicks fairly affordably on the secondary market. I don't think if you want one, I don't think you are able to not get one at this point because I've seen them readily available. Maybe people aren't just looking in the right spots. But I will say, for a nicely tailored suit in both white and black shirt, I'm considering getting two just so I can basically put some of my other head sculpts, like a Rhodey head sculpt in a suit. That way I can just basically keep him outside the War Machine armor. That'd be cool. This gives you an opportunity to give your head sculpt some run if you really don't want, this thing. That's what I'm considering. Do I have any interest in this as John Wick? No. Do I think it looks good for Present Toys? Probably. I can see this probably being $200 and calling it a day. And so to give me two suits in black and white, I'm for that. But are you settling? I mean, how much do you really want a John Wick? And how much did John Wick 4 figure change from the John Wick 3 figure? It didn't or wouldn't really, I mean, granted, I didn't go rush out to see John Wick 4, so correct me if I'm wrong. Outside of a few battle damage pieces, what really are you looking for? And if you really want the higher quality figure, just run and get the John Wick 3. But maybe I'm just crazy and I'm missing something here. So are we settling? Probably.
Right. I think we are. I mean, I personally don't like this very much. I like the suit. I like the tailoring on it. And maybe the sleeves are a tad long. I got to watch the film again. The sleeves seem a little long, but I'm not sure. But the head sculpt, I see the likeness there to a degree, but the hair and the paint apps, I think that's what's kind of letting it down. It looks third party. Let's be honest
Looks like
about
his
it.
cousin.
Right. It does. Like I see it in there. It's
James Wick.
Yeah, it's James Wick or Johnny Wick or something. I don't know. Or Johnson Wick.
Jake Wick.
One of those two. But yeah, so Dean, bro, are we settling at this point with this John Wick? What do you think?
If this is John Wick 4, shouldn't he be missing a finger?
That's a good point. I mean, he has the nunchuck, so I feel like it should be John Wick 4. I mean, he didn't use nunchucks in any other film.
Also, the long sleeves articulate better when you have them bent. It looks better.
Fair.
Just wanted to point that out. This is not the best. This is, I would say, this is settling. But if it's your only option, which it's not, I mean, you could buy this figure and swap out the head sculpt almost immediately. There's so many John Wick head sculpts on the market. It's not even funny. But
you're not hurting for options.
Yeah, you could probably also kit bash this figure for cheaper if you really wanted to. It's also very lacking in like weapons, nunchucks, and a gun. Like, come on. I haven't seen the fourth one. I'm assuming he uses more than a gun and nunchucks in the movie.
To be called Suit Killer, he doesn't really have a lot of killing devices.
Yeah, like, but to be fair, Present Toys usually makes a pretty good product. I feel. How much is this?
Not sure yet, but I would, like Kiko said, probably around 200 or a little bit less.
For this, I I wouldn't pay more than like 160 for this. I mean, you really aren't getting much. A few hands with too many fingers and a gun and a base. Like, come on. Although it is 2 suits, is it 2 whole bodies?
I don't think so. No,
I was gonna say if it's 2 whole bodies, I'm all in just because I want 2 bodies and 2 suits.
Yeah, that would be
but
nice.
because this would be a good, like, for real, Kiko, you have a point. If this would be a figure, you could easily get a custom John Wick sculpt or the Max Nut or whatever, Dean, and make this. So
yeah. But just as it sits, just like this, I feel like you're settling.
right, I think so too. But guys, look, if you need a John Wick, I understand if this is in the budget, but I don't know, man. I have this thing. I don't know if everyone feels the same, where if you have a bunch of really good figures that you really like that are high quality, then you have something like this, it sort of brings down the level of everything around it because it sort of devalues that entire sort of theme and collection that you have. So I don't know. I don't like that personally, but to each their own. If you love John Wick, I get it. But I get it why this is almost more appealing for buying the bodies and the suits than it is the head sculpt. But, yeah. Keith, by the way, said Dean hasn't watched any movies this year. It's true. It's true.
I watched Spider-Verse yesterday.
Dude, I liked it. Did you like it?
Yeah. It had its issues, but it's good.
Yeah, it was good.
Really
but,
good.
I won't talk about the ending, but the ending I have problems with. But, we'll see. We'll see how that goes and shakes out over time. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your thoughts on that one.